Hey, what's up, YouTube world? It is your girl here, the Venusian Bull, and I am back for another Planets in the Houses series. And in this series, we are going to be discussing planets in the ninth house. Okay, so you know how we do, it. I am going to provide a little intro video for the ninth house and then attach it to all of the videos for the planets so that, we can get everything that needs to be said in these videos, okay? All right, so just a little background on the ninth house. Remember, the ninth house is akin to Sagittarius. So the energy of the ninth house is very joyful. It's very optimistic. It's all about adventure and learning and philosophy and religion and spirituality and traveling all over the place, darling. It's all about discovering different cultures, different people, different ethnicities, different ways of life. And it's just about being open-minded. Like the ninth house is literally like, you're an open book type of energy. It's very larger than life energy. It's very extra, extra, read all about it type of energy. So, ninth house people are on 10 like 90% of the time. Like they can't help it. It's like adrenaline. It's like constant adrenaline. This is a house that's full of energy, and full of excitement and luck and expansion and abundance. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna keep this pretty cute, clean, and concise. All right. And also, as a disclaimer, I feel like I mentioned this in my videos, but y'all still seem to not be listening. Okay. When I discuss the planets and the houses, I'm discussing their general energies, like their purest energies. Obviously, this is going to be modified based on the sign that's on the house cusp. If you have other planets also in this house, or if these planets in the ninth house are aspecting other planets in your natal chart, it may modify this energy. So you may look at this video and be like, that sun in the ninth house, that sounds like nothing like me. And you got a nerve to have sun square Pluto. That's why it don't sound nothing like you. Okay, I just had to get a little mean for a second. This is a happy energy, positive energy, but I just had to say that because some of y'all be coming up in here and be like, I'm not this, I'm not that. Y'all, look at your whole chart, listen to all of the videos, because at some point you're gonna have planets transiting the ninth house. So you actually want to pay attention to all of the videos, not just the one that's specific to you and your natal chart. And hey, if you want to get information, on other people, family members, significant others, friends, coworkers, and they happen to have a planet in the ninth house, you may want to listen to that as well. All right. So keep it, well-rounded and, helps me boost up those views. All right. All right. So stay tuned for a very wild, adventurous ride for the planets in the ninth house. All right. Let's go. Freedom! All right, y'all. So we're going to be talking about Saturn in the ninth house, okay? So Saturn in the ninth is similar to having Saturn in Sagittarius or having Capricorn on the ninth house cusp. And to a very, very lesser extent, Aquarius on the ninth house cusp. But we're going to stick with the Capricorn Saturnian theme. All right. So y'all know how it is when I get to talking about Saturn. This is the ninth house. It's a house of luck and opportunity and good fortune and optimism. And Saturn is just not really about that. Saturn is kind of a pessimist. Saturn is kind of depressed. Saturn is karma. Saturn is hard work. So when you're putting Saturn in this house, remember, wherever Saturn is in your chart, it denotes karma, and it denotes an area of life where you have something that you need to learn in this lifetime. So I would say with people who have Saturn in the ninth house, they need to actually learn how to have faith in this lifetime and to also look on the bright side, like look at the glass half full, because the problem is that the reason why a lot of people in with Saturn in the ninth house may not have the best fortune and may not have the best luck is it's because it's a mindset thing. It's because you always think that I'm never going to get this job. I'm never going to make this amount of money. Like, I'm going to be living paycheck to paycheck the rest of my life. Like, I'm never going to be able to travel here. It's a very negative, like pessimistic, type of mindset. And this is like one of the few like challenging placements that you can have for the ninth house, because Saturn is always about teaching you lessons. And with Saturn in the ninth house, it's teaching you lessons about growth and about expansion, like how you can grow, learning new things, exploring new things, not being afraid to try new things, because Saturn energy can be very much motivated by fear, but you have Saturn in this house of like adventure and exploration and just wanting in freedom and wanting to experience things. And Saturn can kind of like suppress that freedom that you need so badly to let out. Like you need to let out, you need to be liberated. You know what I'm saying? With Saturn in the ninth. So it's something that's keeping you from being liberated, something that happened in a past life that's like weighing you down. And it could be the weighing down of ninth house types of things like religion. Maybe you need to let go of your religion and how you grew up. Maybe that's no longer for you. Maybe that's no longer beneficial to you. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is that you grew up doing, maybe when it comes to education, you have parents that are doctors, lawyers, scholars and stuff, and they want you to go to school and they want you to work hard and they want you to get your master's and your doctorate and your bachelor's. Well, I did that backwards. Bachelor's, master's, doctorate, PhD, all of that stuff. And you don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, depending on what sign is on your ninth house cusp, like maybe you want to be a musician, like maybe you want to be an artist, maybe you want to be a teacher, but you don't want to teach, the types of things that your parents want to teach. Maybe you actually want to do something that doesn't require, 17 years of college. Like, can I keep it a buck? Can I keep it real here? Okay. Maybe you're afraid of having the debt and racking up the debt and stuff like that. So you maybe, don't want to go to school for, all of those years. However, I do recommend that Saturn in the ninth house, that if you're given the opportunity, which this kind of requires you to not think so pessimistically and things like that. If you do get the opportunity and you have the resources at some point to travel abroad and get a different experience than what your normal home life and your normal surroundings are, I would definitely take it, because in a lot of instances that could be weighing you down, especially if you maybe got Saturn in Cancer in the ninth house, or even Saturn and Capricorn in the ninth house. They both affect like home and family life. So definitely be on the lookout for that. This is why the sign on the cusp is so important too, because you gotta correlate. You gotta correlate so you can coordinate. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So trying to add a little brightness to Saturn here. But yeah, sometimes you got to think about what sign is on the ninth house cusp, because that could be what is weighing you down. The way you learn, the ninth house is all about learning, but maybe you don't need to learn in the traditional way. Maybe you need to do something that works better, for you. You know what I mean? Maybe a 4-year college isn't for you. Maybe it's better for you to go to a community college so that you're able to save more money so that you can go places and you can explore and you're not, mounted by all of this debt and things like that. That's one of the things that's really scary to people with a Saturn in the ninth house, especially when it comes to doing all this schooling, especially, maybe your parents, like, let's flip the script. Your parents don't have a lot of money and you are very smart. You are very gifted and you want to go to and you have the grades to go to Yale or Harvard, but you didn't get the scholarships and stuff like that, or you want to go to Penn State. As a matter of fact, all of these colleges are too goddamn expensive these days. So I don't know what y'all ninth house people are doing. Y'all paying for school. Y'all getting, you know what, Saturn in the ninth house, find yourself a mate, find yourself somebody rich to pay for your school. If you want to go to school, do that until college is free, until they make it free in this country. Or go travel to a country where college is free, because there are a whole bunch of other developed countries where college is free, like France, like Australia, I think like Denmark. It's a whole bunch. America, y'all need to get on the ball. Politics, yes, y'all need to do it. Politics is a really good career for someone with Saturn in the ninth house, because it allows you to use your practicality and use that on a grand scale. So we're talking about diplomats, ambassadors, international relations, and things of that nature. So there could be a lot of positivity that can come with having Saturn in the ninth house, even though it can be very grim. But remember that like good fortune and stuff like that, it's not going to be like necessarily immediate. You're really going to have to, you're going to have to challenge yourself. You're going to have to really, work hard. And there's going to be some things that you're going to have to lose. Like you may have to lose your family, not in the form of like death per se, but like maybe you can't fuck with them anymore in order for you to grow. You know what I'm saying? You may have to leave that church, that evangelical church, that Baptist church, that Methodist church. Maybe you need to do that so that you can grow. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you need to get out of your hometown so that you can grow. And you're going to be so afraid of doing that. You're going to be so afraid of pissing off your family, of pissing off your church, your religion, whatever. You're going to be so afraid of leaving their loved ones behind and going to live in Tokyo or something like that. But that is probably your destiny. That's probably what you need to do. You need to get out of your fear of flying, as an analogy to use, but your fear, and you could have a fear of flying with Saturn in the ninth actually, but just your fear of like kind of jumping off the ledge and like going for it. Like you kind of have to go for it. You know what I'm saying? Like you need to kind of have like an out of body experience so that you can realize, oh, no, what I was doing back then, that's not really the business.
All right. So, speaking about what was being done back then, particularly in a previous life, because Saturn represents karma and it represents lessons learned and where you need to learn lessons. So, with Saturn in the ninth house, you may have been a wild and crazy flower child in a previous life, and you were just extra read all about it, doing all of this partying, just always going for freedom, just not giving a shit about nothing, just trying to, force your beliefs. Probably you may have been like kind of the worst kind of Sagittarius energy or the worst kind of ninth house energy, just really loud and brash and extra. And Saturn is there in this lifetime to let you know that, girl, like, man, you need to fucking chill. Like, you are doing way too much, because people with ninth house energy can do way too much a lot of the time. And it's not necessary for you to do all of that. Like, you can still incorporate this ninth house Sagittarian energy without going overboard. And that's kind of what Saturn is teaching you. So if you have this placement and you ever feel like you're taking it too far or you're taking it over the edge, you probably are. That's your Saturn trying to keep you in check. That's kind of the beautiful part about Saturn being in the ninth house, is that, I understand ninth house is all about, risk taking and being fearless and just jumping and just going. But the thing about it is that sometimes you do need a reality check. And sometimes you do need someone, something, or a force to actually stop you from doing something stupid or crazy. Like that time you got arrested in Thailand. Saturn in the ninth house could prevent that from happening, especially if you have like a Saturn conjunct Jupiter situation or a Saturn conjunct Mars or Sun situation in the ninth house. Oh yeah, that Saturn will straighten that shit right up. It'll feel like it's a Debbie Downer. It's going to feel like it's a party pooper, but in the end, you're going to thank that Saturn energy. This is more like when you get older, you know what I'm saying, after you have your Saturn return. But you'll thank that Saturn energy and you'll be like, damn, I really could have got into some shit. But I would like to thank the discipline of my Saturn in the ninth house for preventing me from getting into that shit. And that's some real shit. You know what I'm saying? Just think about it like that. I like to think of having the, practical, disciplined teacher of Saturn in the house of kind of like the philosophical, teacher that kind of is all about freedom and no boundaries, is kind of like a nice balance, because you have the idea of liberation and an idea of freedom and having freedom of thought and freedom of religion and your beliefs, and just kind of wanting to do what you want and being adventurous. But Saturn is there to keep you in check. Saturn is there to tell you, like, no, you cannot run 10 miles today. You have not been working out. You are not in shape. Girl, what are you doing? You need to condition. You know what I'm saying? Stop saying that you're going to run these 5Ks. You know what I'm saying? Because, ninth house energy likes to, be active and things like that. Like Saturn energy in the ninth house. You sick. You're not supposed to be traveling, especially out of the country. Girl, it's COVID. You've been coughing and shit. You don't need to be getting on that plane. You know what I'm saying? Like things like that. Because I gotta tell you, ninth house energy, they just go. Like they just don't think. You know what I'm saying? They just do. And with Saturn there, it really gives you that, as I've already mentioned a whole bunch of times, that reality check, that mindset that you need to think before you do. It doesn't mean that you can't have fun. It doesn't mean that even luck won't come your way, because the thing about Saturn being in the ninth house means that you're a worker. Okay, so you're going to work hard, because you're going to realize that you can't just sit around like these other ninth houses and shit is going to come your way. Oh, no, no, no. You have to work for that shit, whether it's, your degrees or just your freedom or your job or your relationships or your lifestyle. You need to work for that. But you still do have that potential of that whole preparation meets opportunity thing, especially with Saturn. Saturn in the ninth is kind of like the prototype for that. You know what I'm saying? So definitely continue to, stay on your grind. And like I said before, I know Saturn can be a little bit of annoying in the ninth house. It can like prevent you from kind of achieving that freedom that you so desperately need. But sometimes too much freedom is a bad thing. Like, too much of anything is a bad thing. So, Saturn will take away what you don't need. You only need the necessities. Like, understand that. Saturn will keep you straight in the ninth house. Don't worry about that. Don't worry. And when it makes positive aspects during transits, it's going to be really, really nice. Like Saturn trying your sun, Saturn trying your Mars. Like that's when you need to do stuff. You know what I'm saying? You got Jupiter also transiting your ninth house, or Mars. Like that's when you need to do stuff. You need to really pay attention to your transits, because in a normal sense, like Saturn in the ninth house, y'all just can't be going for anything and everything and shooting for the stars and the moon all the goddamn time. You need to be realistic, unfortunately, and you need to be practical, and y'all don't like that shit, but you do, because in a previous life, you went buck wild. You went buck wild. Just like, you know what they say about Sagittarius, they're half man, half animal. Like it's very animalistic. It's very primal. In a sense, really. Like all of the fire signs are actually quite primal in their just natural nature. So you have to understand that Saturn is there to tame that ninth house energy. It's there to tame that Sagittarius energy. It's there to make you make better decisions. It's there to make you make better decisions. So I hope you understand where I'm coming from. I do apologize that I had to switch over to audio, but my phone kept on running out of storage. Thankfully, I have a new phone with a whole lot more storage space, so I won't be having these problems, and we can do the full video with you seeing my face. But, I hope you're enjoying these little pictures that I put up on the audio overlay. So, thank you so much for watching and listening. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell a friend. Okay, make sure you go watch my live as well. A bitch gonna be trying to do more lives. Okay, and let me know if you have this placement. Let me know if this resonated with you. Let me know if you agree. Let me know if there's anything that you would like to add. Okay. Oh, and also, since Saturn represents grandparents and things like that, your grandparents may have been more of a pivotal part in your life, and they may have been kind of strict. Also, it's a potential that you may have been like adopted. Like, how family members adopt children? That could have been a thing with you, or like foster care and things like that, because ninth house can represent like foster care or adoption or something like that. So I just had to put that out there. Again, if any of this resonates with you, let me know in the comments. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.